Launch Blender. For this, we'll need a VFX file. Open your movie by opening it or dragging it in. Now we'll add trackers. You can add them manually, or you can have Blender detect the features of your scene for you. Hit the little arrow button right here, and it will track the rest of your scene. Once it's done drawing squiggly lines all over your scene, you'll want to go to the end frame and select one of the trackers. Now, make sure you're in the Tracking tab on the right, go into Solve on the left, and hit Solve Camera Motion. It'll show you a pixel error, and if it's under 2, you should be good to go. But if it's not, you need to tweak these camera settings. Next, you'll want to click Set as Background and Set up Tracking Scene. And then it'll show you a plane and a cube, but it'll be way out of whack. So select 3 trackers that are on the ground, hopefully spaced like a little far out, and click Floor. Then add a Layout tab, and you can just make sure that it's lining up correctly. I'm just adding my own planes and stuff just because it's easier. And as you play your scene, it should follow where the ground is pretty well. And I'm just adding another back wall as my background, which we will key out later. So in order to make this keyable, we have to make a shading tab, select it, and make a new material, and make it green or blue or just whatever color you want to use for keying it. And make sure it's the exact same color on both of them. And take down those controls because we don't want any shine. Now you can just start modeling like all the stuff that you want to be in your scene. And make sure it doesn't go beyond your background keying. Now, by default, your scene is going to be absolutely horribly lit, so you'll want to add lights. And if you want shadows, just make sure they roughly line up with where the sun is in your scene. And also for your background, you'll want to go into shading and change the shadow mode to none so that it casts no shadow, which is good for keying. And you can turn off show and viewports if you want to see how it'll look when it's keyed. Just make sure that show and renders is turned on because that's important. And render your animation. And then use any video editor you have, Final Cut, Filmora, iMovie. I'll just use iMovie because it's free, like Blender. And import your rendered file from Blender and your original movie. Edit so that the one from Blender is on top and key out the green or whatever keying color you used. Now if you want to do any adjustments or color correction, you can do that.